Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia.
And Azalea. Hello.
And this is our Greengirltudios Magic Hour Sunday edition. Today, I have some new things to show. We have what we had during the week I want to show, the things that we were working on, our projects. And we met with some of our favorite gem dealers. So we have some new sets. Some of the stuff I was like, I don't know, Azalea. I don't know if we're gonna be able to move some of this kind of
We have
high.
some high end.
We have a few things that are kind of high. That they're beautiful objects, really wonderful, and so sometimes you just don't know what people are gonna want. I know what I want, and that's the thing is I buy with myself in mind first because I can only pick what I like, right? But I do try to get stuff that I think maybe some folks might like this. So it's good to when you get feedback and some folks are like, you know what I always like? I like me some aquamarine or whatever it is. So I buy what I like. So it's always there are a lot of translucent type stones, a lot of sparkle. I love a sparkle. I love a hard sparkle, as they say, like in sapphires and rubies. Oh, I see a lot of friends are here. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Cherie. Hello, Karen. Hello, Kalite. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm pretty excited. We had a really good session back to back. We had Big Crafty, then we had the Great Big Extravaganza. We launched the crochet kit the workshop that people have been asking me for probably a decade, and I'm just now getting around to it. It's a lot of getting information organized is not my strong suit. I'm good at research, collecting information, but making it palatable for everyone else can be challenging. But you know what? I actually was like, what else can I put in this? So I plan to add any addendums and then just resend the whole thing out. So if that happens, all you do is download it again, delete the old file, first checking to make sure you did it. But if something happened, then it's easy to send out again. So I was thinking about putting a resource list. I'm going to do that. And I'm also thinking about, this is not just thinking about, I'm doing a quick, like, so far the video is kind of long, so I'm trying to get it down to where you're not just watching a repetitive section of, of stitch making. So I'm condensing certain areas down so that it's easy to watch, right? And you still learn. So if you're a type of person that has to see something to be, to get it, that's happening. And it should be, if everything's filmed, I just got to go in there and edit it. So that part is kind of hard. Oh, hello, Nilda. She says, how are you today? I'm pretty good. Oh, Kelly, and we are all doing good. And Marty, he is doing pretty well. We got his test back. I was wondering, I was like, where did he go? He was up here earlier. And he doesn't have any crystals. And that's what we were afraid of, are the crystals in the urine, because that can make it hard for them to pee, and it causes them all kind of pain and misery. So, I know she's ripping tape off of something. We'll be like, girl, you need to close that door. I can hear your tape ripping. All right, let's see. Oh, do I have any additional kits? I have another one, Debbie. And I shopped for a kit, and I got a little wild. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit wild with some of the stuff that I picked, and because I was passionate about it, I was like, oh my god, these stones are killing me, how good these are. And so the main thing I was looking for when I was shopping for them, number one, I was checking out those holes. You know how you check to make sure they're. I'll demonstrate that how you look. But I have a new one. Didn't have a chance to count it because it's a ton of counting, and it's coming soon. Actually have enough for two. I bought a little extra. I'm making a kit now. We're going to Fresno in a couple of weeks. That's August 12th we leave, And we have a bunch of stuff planned because when we go out to Fresno and we get with Kate, it's like a magic synergy thing happens where there's so much happening. We call it the creative explosion. And there's that time period we will have the announcement of the kit of who won the contests. We have 5 categories right now. Go to the post on the Greengirltudios gang in the group. There's a post about that. So what we're gonna have to do is count the likes. I don't know any other way to do it. If y'all have better ways of figuring out who liked what, then we can figure it out. I'm open to suggestions. I was thinking hashtag Greengirltudios, and then we could just search them. But since they're already in the gang group, I figure you could just look at the pictures or go to the picture section. If that, I'm pretty sure that's how it works, and we can just look at them, and then we'll decide. It won't be me. See, I'm not gonna do to myself what happened in times previous where I'm the judge. I don't want to be the judge. I don't want any part in being a judge, but I will let y'all judge, and then we will collectively decide who gets the prizes. I think that's a pretty fair way to do it. All right. Oh, my friend Donna. Hey, Donna. She says, hola. I'm practicing my Espanol, and it's, I didn't practice. I got to practice tonight. Hello, Robin. Kalite. Oh, Kalite says, what's around your neck and in your pockets? Hey, girl, I emptied my pockets out. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Debbie. Melanie, hello. Yes, it's awesome news about Marty. We're happy because it really stressed me out. I know he's just a cat, but he's my whole world. So I tell you, I can't. Whenever he's not doing good, then that's no fun. We do have to. I'm kind of horrified at the idea of, like, I looked at his teeth. They gave him some medicine, and they were like, he needs his teeth done. I was like, what is? I give him a special cat food. There should be no issues. You expect their teeth because it's all crunchy. You hear him crunching. Listen, he's got so much plaque on each one of his teeth. I was like, he doesn't even eat. And then I'm like, wait, did I give him chicken? I give him people food. And then someone was like, you got to brush his teeth. I was like, who brushes a cat's teeth? How can you brush a cat's teeth? I tell you. Hey, you guys are going to be a fly on the wall in Fresno because half the time we've got the video camera turned on, don't we, Azalea?
Yeah, we do.
That video camera is all the time on. And Debbie says, please email when the new kits come out so I don't miss it. Okay, that's a good idea. Never thought. Duh. Hello, Grace. Hello, Clem. Our friend Clem is on. All my friends. All that. I do. I love my cat so hard. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Nancy said she downloaded the Magic PF and it's fab. You know what? I am glad to hear it. I am so glad to hear it because it's. You know how you get kind of, I don't know. I get self-conscious. I'm like, is this enough to make? Did I share everything so that if you open this up, could you make it? That was the question. And so I made Greg read it. I was like, get in there and I want you to read this. And he was like, he got serious because he's like, okay, I'm going to pretend like I've never. And then he's like, well, I just learned to crochet like a month ago. So he's super duper new. Never, only picked up, just learned knitting. I don't even know. Not that long ago. So he was like going through and pouring through and asking questions. So every time he asked me a question, I went and amended it. It's right then and there. And then Azalea had her look over it and we went in and fixed anything that anybody had questions. And then I did it again. And so to make sure. So, but if there's anything else, I want everybody to be happy. So, all right. Donna's waiting. You know what just got here today? So I ordered, where are those things? So I was using, I don't know if you guys saw, can you pass me the one that was, there's a kit over there and I want to show it. So I'm going to flip the camera around.
Is it this one?
The one, yeah, I want to transfer one. So I'm going to move my wax because I was going to show you the wax things I've got going on. All right, getting ready. All right. The PDF was separate from the kit, Robin. I sell the kit separately from the class. The class, in times past, I have taught it at different folks' stores. That's where I taught, at stores. I think I taught that one time in Port Townsend. Let me see if I get this. And one time in Ligonier. Okay, here we go. I'm like, okay, what was I showing again? All right. So I found, this is one of the reasons, is I got this. I hope these fit in there. So this was the things that I had, and this thing kept coming off. So this was the kit, and well, we'll just show it. Are there any of these left, Azealia?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I picked these out, and this wasn't what was in there. There's like some of those vintage pearls that I got from my friend Joanne from her uncle. It's like my friend's uncle's old storage unit. So anyway, there's a whole good amount. But what's good about these are that the top is screw top, because now it won't come unloose, or, you know, this business. Debbie, don't be bummed. I got more. I got more. Maybe not exactly like this, but the next one coming, you guys, it's so good. I can't even hardly stand it. That's how good it is. Can you get me one of those cold packs? It's hot underneath all these lights. One of my things is I want to get a special lamp that's not hot. It's like, what exactly would that be? So here's some update. I was working on this puppet during the week. I'm trying to work on a wig. It's cast wig cap. There we go. And I'm going to put little loops for her hair. So I have this super fine chain. You would not believe how fine this chain is. It is the finest chain you've ever seen. And, oh, I see Sam, my son, my other son, as I like to say. So here's another fun thing that I was working on. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you guys like it. It's like a labor of love. I've been working on this for so long. So here's one of her pieces of her costume. There's a little chest plate. I'm not done carving it yet. It's going to be a little, well, number one, it's, how do you say, it's not finished. You can't really tell. Well, you can tell. Obviously, you can tell it's not done. But I need to put, it's like a little brush up. Right now, it's a little cartoonish in the front. It's like a little bit like, what has she got on? So I'm going to make it look more, you know, just better. Oh, thank you, my friends. I appreciate all the compliments. It's going to be, she is one of the characters in a pilot we're working on with our friend Hobie Ford. And this is not quite ready. When I say not quite ready, there's a lot that's going to happen. Number one, she's going to close. So this is part of the costuming. And there's a lot of puppets as characters on this show. It's a show about folklore and folk tales around the world. All right, so that's something. This is another thing I've been working on. I got one of these done. And by done, I mean like I could go in here and polish it some more. But if you saw some of the things that I've been working on for the past few months, maybe a month and a half, not that long, are these kind of, I think of them, they're one-of-a-kind pendants. I'm trying to get into cast bezel setting. And this setting took me, the part that's cast or wax is this part and this. And so the rest of it, I add in, let me see, little details to fit the scene. So I have a little flowers and mushrooms and things. The part that's taking me forever is boring out the back, because you know what? I'm sure everybody knows this, including myself, but silver tends to shrink just a tiny bit. But when you're fitting a stone and it has to be it has to fit this, because if it doesn't fit, I mean, it's just going to be like well, it won't work. So what I've been doing is going in with a grinding wheel and grinding out the extra and then fitting and then testing my fit to make sure that it's a good fit. It seems like this. You can see it's not quite flush yet. I made this one so it stuck out a little bit because if you go around and hug it completely, you won't be able to get the stone in or out. I mean, that's just the way it is unless you have, um, unless you're going through the front. That's how that works. So this is another one that you can see right here. I have a little bit because what it needs to do is it needs to be flush right up in there. But it's close. I can feel it. I'm very close. So what I've been doing is grinding in very carefully all the way around and then testing the stone to see the fit. And I just have to come up with a solution to account for the shrinkage. And I've been racking my brains trying to be like, okay, so maybe if I dip the stone in a couple layers of investment, we thought of investment plaster. Oh, thank you, Kalite. That gold that I ordered pretty recently, that's going to be, I'm going to cast these guys in gold. That's the goal. So this hasn't been polished at all. This hasn't even been trimmed. I'm focusing on getting the stone to fit. That's why it's kind of like rough looking. This is how it looks when it comes right out of the casting. So it's connected to the tree, which is how the hot metal gets into the mold. This is where we clip it right here. You clip it and then polish it. Yeah, this is a really good, like super high quality rutilated quartz. It's funny, when we go to shows, I'm always looking at fancy rutilated quartz. And we stopped at a show pretty recently, and Azalea saw me looking at this strand, and I asked the price of it. And I was like, yeah, we'd be buying wholesale. And the strand was like, was it 16 inch? And the pieces were like this. They were like 15 millimeter.
It was 15 millimeter.
15 millimeter.
And the strand was actually not that long, and the guy said $450.
She said, and Azalea looked at me in my eyes, and she said, for quartz? Oh, it's funny, because the same thing happened when we were in Tucson. She was like, wait a minute.
That's quartz though, right?
She
That's
goes,
not diamonds or anything?
She's like, wait. For quartz, I started laughing. We all started laughing. And he's like, they're really high quality. She's like, they better be.
Well, no, I was like, yeah, but that's still quartz though.
Well, okay, clear. So there's a lot of difference in gem grading, and this type of quartz is like,
I can help you fake that with some glass beads from Michael's.
So yeah, well, there's some that is not that I found some high quality, but it wasn't $480. I tried to find stuff that was pretty close. A kit I'm working on now has some really good rutiles in it, related quartz. So this is for the contest. So because I can't just make one of anything, I was like, what's the perfect size for this charm? So there's 5 of them. I'm making little hearts. And I'm going to set a little sapphire. So I'm trying to get these done. I have 2 weeks to get these done so I can take them with me and announce the winners in Fresno. So it's not done. I haven't decided. I don't know. Sometimes I agonize. I'm like, what will people want? So I started making 5 different ones. So these are part of the prize. Let me see. I got one there. Here's another one. I just have to set the stones in there and put a bail. But I was thinking about maybe making an eye around it. I don't know. You know, I'm so filled with indecision. Look at this one. How pretty is this? These are rose-cut sapphires. It's the same thing that's in... I've had those lots. Oh, this is like I carry this bracelet never comes off of me. None of these do. But that's from this when I first bought it. That was over 20 some years ago. So anyway, this is the last of it. I'm getting down to my last. At the time I bought a kilo of stones, and I'm coming to the end. I knew the day would happen someday, but I didn't know when. So it is quickly approaching. So anyway, this is what's happening with this. So if you haven't looked at that contest post, now's the time because, you know, you can't win if you don't enter it. And there's 5 ways or 5 categories, and then we all vote for each other. So your chances are good. Chances. And then I'm going to have more contests. So it's not, if you don't try or you're too busy or you're not feeling it, that's cool. There'll be more. All right. So today I thought I'd do some wax work a little bit anyway before we got to the live sale.
Oh, we should talk about this kit real quick and talk about how everything's on sale right now, or how not
everything.
Not everything. I meant the kit.
The kit. Izzy has
this
a kit.
And the class is both 15% off.
So we have a. This is a kit that we showed. When did we show that? On Wednesday? Was that Wednesday or
that was a minute ago? I don't remember when.
Not this one. Oh, well, this is what it is strung out here. So this has all kinds of beautiful. That's that alurite, allalite. Is that what we call? Is that what that was? That
allalite.
Allalite, and then peacock pearls. There's one I was working on in here of earrings. I haven't gotten around to it. This is the golden rutile or golden obsidian, and it has that kind of eye. Not all of them do, but most of them do. There it is. Around this. Is that what it is? So there's amethyst, star cut, and there's also these little giblets. Where'd they go? Anyway, this one's on the sale. She put it. Oh, I just linked it. So that's that kit. We have a few left. Gonna make space for new things and also to pay for Marty's new dental bills. Dang it! Every time you think you're getting ahead.
That boy.
That boy. We need to brush his teeth. Someone told me that, and I think it was my friend Laura, was like, you just got to brush their teeth. I'm like, Laura, why do you have to make my life hard? Who knows about this? Apparently a lot of people. Maybe I was told and I done forgot. That's probably sounds more likely. Likely story. Okay, I will show... Oh, almost knocked that down. There's this puppet. I worked on it last night just a tiny bit because I was feeling like, man, I can't. I got so much to do. I don't have time to work on this little person. But I polished it a little bit. Oh, no. Marty won't let me. They were like, oh, you just have to brush. I was like, have you met my cat? He's not going to want that. Unless it's like you're trying to brush his teeth with like meat paste.
He still doesn't like having his mouth touched.
Oh, that's a good idea. Melanie says, I used to take Izzy to the vet twice a year to do the cleaning so I didn't have to brush his teeth. Okay, I have to do that, but I think he has to be put under. That's what's going to make it expensive.
Yeah, because his has gotten a little far.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know, but I should have by his nasty breath. But it is not good. So anyway, Lisa says, that is a wild creation. I know. I don't know where this stuff comes from. My brain is just like all the time. That's a foot. It's gonna go like this. So her legs gonna be like this. It's yeah, it's like $500. I know, it's horrendous. Yeah, that when she was like, she said, "Oh, Marty's teeth need to be done." I was like, "Crap, that's gonna be like $500." Anytime they put them out is like $500. So I made different thigh bones, so they're all a little bit different. So I could choose my own adventure, and make different ones. Like you know how insects are there's a lot of variation. Oh, you know I share my dinner with Marty. Pretty much any meal he wants, he can have half of it. He can have all of it.
Dang. Unless it's toxic for cats.
Unless it's toxic, they keep me on the straight and narrow with sharing food with an animal. Okay, I'm going to show a little something here. Maybe we'll do one of my bezels that I've been practicing. Or I can show how I start one. Or how I can clean up. Oh, this will be a good one. So I'm going to set this one. This will be fun. Because this ring... Oh, I'm not wearing it. Here, I'm wearing it now. I'm going to wear it. So I made this part. think my hands have got a little swollen. But guess what? It's adjustable. So if I need to, I could put it on my ring mandrel and push it down so it fits a little bit. It's warm, so now it's tight. So, oh, thank you, Lisa. She's talking about my doll having a segmented body. That was the hardest part. I'm sure you can imagine. No animal likes to have their teeth clean. Pretty much. And you know what? It turns out people don't like it. I don't like it. When it's time for me, I have some of that gingivitis problem. And when they're like, okay, time for the deep clean, I'm like, listen, y'all, I brush and I floss. I can't go to sleep if I don't floss because I got PTSD from when they went in there with that oxygenated water business. That stuff's no joke. Okay, so this is how I make these rings. This is the fun part. What I do with it. Oh, here's the ring. So if you have a wax, this is the wax copy from the mold. I can make more than one, but this is what I have. So this part is not done because you do it like this. Sam says, dentists always be so sassy too. And for what? Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I saw, no kidding, a Maserati in the parking lot of my dentist's office. And I was like, well, that's good. I'm glad that money is being paid because there is no, I mean, I didn't want to assume that it was his, but it was there the last time when he was there. So I dipped this. This is called a Mexican fire opal. And they call it, or jelly opal. That's what I meant to say. Fire opal is when it's all red. Or orange, I should say. Reddish orange. The jelly opal, they call it that because it has that look like a kind of translucent, not quite clear, but translucent. Oh, our friend from Gumnut Lane is joining us. Hello. I remembered it this time, where I'm not like, how do you say that? Gamu? Gammy? You know, because you never know. Oh, man. Kalite is talking about giving up popcorn. I don't know. You know what? I have I have a love of kettle corn that is unmatched. Okay, trying to fit that thing back in there. Sometimes that, see, this is why when it's in metal, I have to grind them because I dip the stone and then I peel everything out. And then I'm like, why is it so hard to fit it back later? Because look how tight of a fit it is when I get that in. It's already tight. So maybe what I'll do, I almost said untighten. The heck? Thankfully, I caught myself.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna remove any lip. That's first and foremost. See, I'm learning from my own. I've made cast bezels many times before. But cast bezels, it's like there's so many tricks to know when you're making jewelry, aren't there? Yeah, the kernels still get stuck in my gums, and you know what? It still doesn't stop me from eating it. I need to get a lighter. Okay, so this is denatured alcohol in my lamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this. I should figure out which way it's going to go. So if you have a stone, you're setting it, you find a stone, or you're going to, you get one at the gem show that you're pretty crazy about. Oh, I want to show this. Where'd that opal go? Did you see that opal that was over here?
I have not bothered with opal.
No, the one that was like, the one that had, that turned different colors.
The one that you had in your pocket?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I didn't see it over there.
Oh my god, it turned. I have to show this. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be live action. Okay, this stone was water clear. And I had it I know those like, this guy gave me a deal and he's like, I'll give you a deal. And he's like, it's 16, it usually costs, this is making my phone hot up here, sorry. So this stone, when I bought it, was clear, right? Well, it was a kind of a smoky quartz. Okay, here's a little dish of water. Let's keep this over here and watch what happens. I'm like, man, this thing, I need to lower the temperature down. And you lower the temperature by not having your lamp on full blast. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. We'll just keep an eye on it. This is just water. And I put something on the stone, vegetable oil. I didn't have any glycerin handy. You know, they say to put glycerin in there to keep them moist, but do I have something to balance that? Now watch what color this thing turns. It's crazy. We'll just have that going in the background while we're talking. All right, so I know I can't hardly think about anything. Just watching that opal turn colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the sprue, which was cast from right here. So I'm going to remove that first. Oh, see, you can already see that it's starting to go less cloudy. It was so translucent. It's so interesting. Stones are so crazy. So wild. And at this point, you can add more detail. I'm not going to leave. If I'm making these rings, I'm going to make them all a little bit different. Because, you know what? I have the capability. And that's what kind of makes it kind of fun, you know? Doing all that customization. So, let's see. I'll turn it this way. Which way looks the best? Probably that way, I would think. Okay. Now, I'm going to seal it on there. Stay steady. Okay. And a lot of times when I'm working with that, I'm heating up my tool. You can use one of those little soldering iron looking things. They call it a heat pen or a hot tool or hot pen. I can't remember the name of it. We have a few of them downstairs. We use them for building trees. It stays at a consistent hot temperature. That's good for building a tree with wax, but when I'm carving, I don't need it to be a consistent amount of heat every time because I'm doing different things with my wax or my tool, I mean. Like sometimes you need it to be boiling hot so you can you can make a puddle. Let's see if I can move this over here without lighting up my phone screen. Because it was getting hot there. I noticed. I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't damage my phone. I'm trying to fix this. This is gap filling. Kind of like in welding. I learned to weld way before I learned how to solder, which is why when I try to solder, I'm always doing the wrong thing with it, even though it was a long time ago. The habits, you know, make it hard. I'm just sealing up the edges around there. Oh no, now let's just take a gander at that opal. Now look at it. No white to be found. Isn't that crazy? This is what people were talking about when they were saying that some opals, their color is not, like they change, and they do change, and they can crack. It's kind of interesting. It was still pretty white, but it's more, I think it looks like the universe when it's like this. And Lisa's asking, what kind of reaction is that? You know what? I am going to ask around and find out. I know a couple of opal dealers, and I have been typing out these questions of why this is happening, because I don't think it's temperature. Could be temperature, but I think it has something more to do with the water, because it was dry. It was warm at the show, so it's been warm. It's been very warm, as we all know. So that is not the factor. When I bought them, they were sitting in something I assumed was glycerin. You know, because a lot of opal traders, they'll keep their pieces in glycerin. And I was told that a long time ago. They said, hey, you keep them in there so that they're moisturized. And it could be that the opal's getting dry. You know, I don't know exactly. I'll have to look that up. But, you know, I just looked at some. There's a couple people I follow on Instagram that are opal dealers. And they're kind of like this type of opal, you know, where it's, I don't know how you explain it. They're like that kind of jelly opal look. And I know they're not coming from Afghanistan. This guy's from Afghanistan, and he traveled to Africa. And so I'm wondering if it isn't a Wella opal from Ethiopia. Because I have heard that those have a tendency to change color and that you have to be very gentle with them. So, Sharon says refraction of light. It could, I don't think it has. The thing is that it physically changed. It wasn't a look that the light changed, because my light did not change just now. The thing that changed was its environment of being in this dish of water. Now I wonder if I took it out and let it dry. Let's see if. Let's see. Does distilled water make a difference? I'm not sure. I guess we could try it. I guess we could try that. So here we have, okay, I took it out of the water. I'm going to set it next to it. You see right there. Kind of want to put it in something to show, so it can stand out, to show, because it kind of blends in. I'll put it on the back side of this calculator. Right over here, so you can see it. And we'll see if it dries out. That's the question. Will it dry out? I don't know. We'll find out and see if that happens, if that reaction happens. And maybe this is just something that I have to, like the question is then, what kind of setting am I going to have to do to make that opal work? Like, is it going to be something like, you know, do you have to make a watery, like, is this going to be something like that where, hey, now you have to change the water for your pet opal? Because it's kind of like a creature, right? Kind of reminds me of when I had fish. I don't have fish now, but I used to keep all different kinds of freshwater fish, mainly fancy goldfish. And I loved them, but they were some temperamental creatures, man. You could not just do whatever you're not like, oh, well, I'm going to go and take a couple weeks off and not do anything. You had to take care of them every day. So now I'm going to try and get the opal out of the setting here and dig it out. Let's see if it'll come out. And this is why I have to grind them, because they were tight fit. I didn't realize. I was like, well, I'll just be a little bit of grinding. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again because that's too much grinding. I was like, okay, I've spent 4 hours grinding these and they're still not fitting. So for future me, I'm going to dig that out. I'm going to dig it out really well so I don't have to mess around with it in production. So now what? You can see all these little cracks. You fill those. This will make one ring unless I mold it and make more. So that's a good idea. Sometimes you want to do that to save yourself some time, but a lot of times when it's a stone that there's no more of, it's not calibrated. Like, I don't have any more stones that are this size or shape. This is the only one. So molding it for just this one doesn't really make any sense. So this is going to be a one-off. And what I'm going to do is probably add some other design elements. It's not going to look like this. It's not going to be kind of like a change to this thing. Oh, I see our friend Cecilia is joining us. Hello, Cecilia. I've kind of lost track of some of those comments. Need to get in there and look at them. So then the next thing is you go in and make sure there are no gaps because you don't want your bezel to fall off. This is the bezel. I like mine to be kind of smooth. And one of the things I notice while I'm wearing this ring is that this little nug right here gets caught on my pants. So guess what? This and every future ring is going to have that thing whittled down because that little nub drove me to distraction. And I'm ready to take it to the grinding wheel today. All right. It's looking pretty good. I wonder if everybody had fun watching. Ugh, I just burnt that. Look how gross that looks. Sometimes you dip it in the wax gets burnt a little bit and it makes for a kind of a chunky little area. Oh, Terry says, hi ladies, got hung up with the Olympics. I know a lot of people are watching that, and they were like, you're going to go opposite the Olympics? I'm like, listen, people know. I mean, I'm on replay. They can replay if they want. But there's like 47 people watching, so I appreciate that. Thank you all, my friends. And if you have a moment to like and share or any of that kind of talk, I would love it too. It's like a vote in the direction of things that you like. All this, you probably can see that. That's Marty's hair, by the way, that's in that. I was hugging him with my black shirt on, and then I tried unsuccessfully to get the hair off of the shirt. And I was just like, well, everyone's just going to have to live with it.
It's natural.
It's just natural. What did one of our friends used to say? They were like, it's the glitter of our friends. Call it something like that. And I was like,
You can hear one hacking right now. Hacking it up under the table.
Yeah, well, she's just different. She's an old lady. Okay, I use files. Files are your friends. We got lots of files. Y'all will be pleased to know. I just thought of this. Oh, and watching the Olympics of wax carving. Thank you. That is good. That's a good one. And we've been cleaning up. So I've mentioned it before. We've been cleaning up our station. We have a table. It's like a metal table for any of our hot work, so nothing catches on fire. And it's set up next to our casting area because that's where we have our oxygen and propane tanks. And we're getting ready to set up, or we have been currently setting up, our glass area. And for those that don't know, back in the day, and this is like, I don't know how long ago, I used to make glass beads. My sister and I had so many. She specialized in making glass beads of like little miniature animals. And we sold them for several years. It was just part of our, our stock was making our glass beads. I never made them like in production style. I'm not like, I don't have the skills like Donna where she can make like 500. Donna, you got the skills. My skills were like making these beads that kind of look like, I was really trying to make beads that looked like they were from ancient times. That was my favorite look. Or Venetian glass, where there was a rod called antique ivory, I think. It was kind of a brownish white that had this dark shadow of dark brown, and I loved it with this baby blue, sort of Tiffany blue color. And it made like these beautiful cells. And if you mix that with any kind of clear on top, it looked just like those candies or like those Italian little nugget that kind of look like stained glass. If you mix those with foils, it was even better. It was just, they just reminded me of candy. And I found one the other day and I was like, yes, I remember you well. Get ready. It's like Azalea, get ready. You think you're hooked on phonics with that knitting? Wait till you start. Wait till you start the adventure with glass. You are gonna love it and you are gonna hate it because it is fun, but it is also really heartbreaking. Because you know what? Sometimes you spend a long time making something. Like I used to take classes from folks that were big in the business, and you'd sit there practicing, and then you wouldn't say you took too long to get it to the kiln for annealing, or you let it cool and then you tried to return it back to the torch, and then you hear a pop. And man, when you'd hear that pop, you're like, not the one that I was just working on. And you'd look at it and have a great big old crack in the middle. So horrendous. But it was, it's how you learn. It's exactly how you learn. By making mistakes and doing it. And then doing it some more. So now we have a big wide, I'm going to get out any of that extra back there so it's not going to be like, it's such a heavy ring. This actually turned into quite the heavy ring. So I am going to try and get some of that mass out right in here because it's too thick. You can kind of see if I shine a light through it. I got this new light. Let me see if I can get the clear part. I think it's this side. There we go. We can see it.
They'll see some more of that light in a minute when we show what we got.
Mm-hmm. You can see where it's too thick. Maybe this is too. This side is it doesn't need to be quite that long or that much. This is how you can test if there are thin areas. You can see right there, thick. You can see over here, thin. So that's how you can check. If you have holes, the light will shine through. You can see it real good. Any thick areas, you're going to weigh that, scrape that out. Because if you have really thick areas, sometimes the wax doesn't want to flow there. And what will happen is you can get an air bubble. I mean, usually it happens in thin, but I've seen sometimes when it's really thick, it's almost like the silver will cool in a different way and make kind of a dip. It's bizarro land. Just learning how to deal with the materials. So when I back away, you can see for sure the thin spots and the thick spots. So that's thick. And where the light is really coming through, that's thin. This new light, it brings me joy. All right, you know what? We've been going on showing this for 48 minutes. I'm going to show a little bit more on this, and then I'm going to get to the next thing. Okay, so look at this. No change as of yet, and I can still feel it's greasy from where I put a little bit of that vegetable oil. But you know what? I feel like it's a little hazier than it was. So it's dry now, and it's sitting here. We'll see if it changes anymore, if it gets cloudy again. So let's check that opal and see how it fits. Get in there, you. More Marty hair. It's all over my shirt. That's where it's coming from. Fit. I'm like, how come it's not fitting? Even though I'm trying to force it in one direction. It's like, hey, guess what? You're going to have to turn it if you want that thing to fit. Interestingly, okay, here we go. It's always when it's like live that something is just going to just decide, I don't feel like fitting today. All right, that was, and somehow, even though I removed material, it's giving me an issue. You can imagine this cast in silver where I'm sitting here trying to force that thing to get in there. It does take some finesse. In this situation, I'm going to take out a lot from the inside rim and really make that fit well. so I don't have to dig it out like I did with this. This was kind of more challenge than I was looking for. And I'm going to add prongs. As soon as I get the fit, I'm going to make it where it's almost like a loose tooth. There's plenty of room for it. Now I think I made it where it's a little, I took out so much that it's, oh, there it goes. There, it's popped into position. I will probably remove enough so that you can really see the good parts. You don't need to see that where the rock is not, there's no flash. I want to make sure I dig out anywhere where there's the flash, because that's like the good part. You don't want to cover that up with the bezel. That's not the part that needs to be covered. All right, I'm gonna move this stuff over. I'm running out of juice anyway, even though there's not much in here. Whoa. Okay, that was different. The lid was a little loose. Okay, and it's also hot, so be mindful if you get your wax things and you're demoing it on screen. Could be more heat than you're ready for. Okay, I am now going to switch to our lots. I've been talking about them for the past 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or whenever we started talking about them. When we were talking about, actually, that was kind of a minute ago. Hey, Zelia. All right. Let me get all this cleared away. You know what I forgot again? I forgot our healing vibes. Hey, Zelia! She went to do something. All right. Where'd all this stuff go? Now I'm going to get I have a piece. Time. She's like, what's going on?
Well,
it's Sunday.
You talk
it's Sunday.
For a lot longer.
Nah.
Where's that cat? Okay.
What are you worrying about him for?
I was making sure nobody was trapped in the studio. All right, what do you want to start with? This?
Here we have this is a full strand. Hello, Wendy. These are ombre. What do you call that when they're set up? I don't remember the name of this. Ombre. Is it?
Yes.
Pre-ombre. Ombre. And I say it, I'm like saying, I feel like I'm saying like it's a man like that. It's a bad ombre. Go. I made this with it. Is that the same?
Might be similar.
Similar, but this is a little bit bigger, I think. These are really small. So this is from the crochet class. And what I did was I did this by hand from like 2 or 3 strands. This is done for you. It's already done. So I bought different colors of amber way back when. So this is kind of an old necklace. So this is probably 1 millimeter size up, I think. Like this is a 3 and then this is a 4. Was this a 4, did you say? 4 mil?
4.5.
Okay, so this is lot 262. This is how this works. You just name the lot. If you're interested, this is a full strand of this for 24. We tested this to see that it was legit. You can test if you're testing amber, there's a couple different ways. Sometimes it'll fluoresce if it has blue. If it has blue in there. Let me see if I got that. Where'd my light go? So blue amber will fluoresce like a haze of blue. It's not going to be blue like I don't know what the answer of that. You can kind of see it here. Better to see it there. To check it. So 262. You see how it has along the edge that hint? Because when you wear amber in sunlight, because this is just imitating like condensed, like the UV, you get that, there it is, that shows that little bit of a hint. So reconstituted amber might do the same. I haven't tried it. You know, they use that in Tibetan. You know, they'll make a powder out of it, especially out of things like coral and carnelian. You've seen it as a paste where they'll pack it into like an inlay, and then it's like a epoxy. That usually doesn't really fluoresce because of the epoxy compounds in there. I mean, it could, depending on the amount that's in it.
We have 10.
We have 10, Sharon. There's 10 of them.
Well, now there's 6.
Now there's 6. Cecilia says, do you see my bid? That's a question.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me see if the other light. This one had all different colors of light on it. Isn't that cool? So fun to use this. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. These are well drilled. You test drilling by, this is how you test for a well drilled strand. You look at the first, you look, right? Then you see if they're all sitting across. And this is, my friend Laura Belkin taught me this little trick, probably, I don't know how many years ago, 20 some years ago. She says, look at them. If they're sitting level, they're drilled straight across. Sometimes you get them where there's like one that's like this, and it's sitting kind of off the wall. And then you look in and you see how wide is it. So these were easily fit. I saved another for myself. I saved a bunch because I want to make my friend a necklace with this too. So she's got some earrings, but you can see how thick that is. That's a medium thickness cord. This is not the micro. This is just medium S or Ceylon. All right. That was good. I love this.
All right,
and
pass that one and I'll pass you the next thing. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so Azealia picked this out. This is her. She got some of this for some earrings I think she bought. This is 4.5 millimeter. High quality. We visited our friends, Ruhi and Rupi, yesterday, or the day before. And this is a good, fine quality, beautiful peridot. Look how good that is. Now, if you know anything about stones, you can see that these are what they call a micro facet. That's when it's like very fine, you almost can't see.
It almost looks smooth. Yeah,
so this is 266, and they're really good color. A lot of times you see with peridot, and some of these, or you'll see them cut into rondelles because the material grows. When I say grow, I mean it, in the ground. Like you'll get slabs, right? It grows in like kind of like what is the word? Not striations. Someone knows it out there when they grow in stacks. It's not sedimentary. Sedimentary, that's the word. And there's some that's crystalline. So the crystals form a kind of a stack. So a lot of times they'll just use that stack and then make little rondelles out of it. And the more material, it takes more material to make a round than it does a flat. I mean, that sounds kind of obvious, but that's why you don't see it as often, because most places will turn it into a rondelle faster than they will rounds. It's just not as done as often. So anyway, how many of these did we have? 4? 3. Okay.
Oh, if there was only 3, then they are gone now.
Okay. Oh, this I don't know. Some of the stuff are we getting into the high regions?
This is the high region.
This should be in the high region because it's so crazy.
Do you want me to
No, I've got it. I've already started it. So I looked at this. I went to this our friends over at Taj, and he says to me, this is very unique. And I was like, yeah, I know, I can see it's unique. You don't have to sell it to me so hard because I already like it. It's hand carved and it's done in a weird, I don't know what you would call that because it's not a barber stripe.
It's like some sort of swirl, I guess. It's
267. I know 45. I know it's high, but that's, I mean, there's enough to do 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of earrings. I don't know. I am testing it if it does well or not. They were more than I wanted to spend on quartz, water clear perfect quartz, but they are gorgeous. And that's one of the things. They have like 3 or 4 strands. The other strand they had was like this. They're massive. They had 2 sizes, this size and one that was like that. The ones that were like really big, I was like, what are you going to do with it? I mean, it's like, it's bigger than a Great National marble. And that's saying something. That's like, when it's bigger than a marble that you would get from, I don't know. They're just grande.
How many do we have?
There's
5.
only 5. I didn't get a lot because I don't know if anyone's
We
going to
only
like
have
it.
3 left. Well,
There's 3 left.
There were
Any
only a couple strands laying there at his table, and we got one.
Well, sometimes they don't make a lot of it. That's the thing is that, sometimes like stone carvers, they're just like, they're just like anybody. They're going to try it and see if people like it and to spend the extra because it's, anytime you have something that's different, like this is not, to make this, you number one have to start with, like Ruhi was saying, she's like, you got to start with killer, no flaws, because anytime, like in my ring, I'm going to show this thing, because my ring is not 100% water clear, and it's good because I love that little bit of a rainbow flash from the refraction, but if you have that in the quartz when they're carving it, sometimes that can just shear right off, because it's an inclusion that you can't, it has to be like where it's completely smooth on the inside. And it's not that easy to come by. Like this is regular quartz, right? This is how it grows. And none of this would be suitable to make something like this. To get this, you need one of those great big pieces because of all the inclusions that naturally occur. I mean, they're beautiful. I like the way it refracts the light, but as it was explained to me, it makes it harder to facet in this sort of way. It's an unusual faceting. Oh, Melanie says pair them with obsidian and white pearls. Oh, I hear it. Let's see what that would look like. I got that obsidian sitting right here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, they're not a cheap date.
Here are my pearls if you guys want to look at that.
Oh, Azalea, this is not for sharing. She just wants to show it.
That's mine.
Here's her pearl she picked out the other day.
Oh, those are old. Those are old ones you gave me.
Oh, those are not the ones we just bought?
No, those are old.
Those with pearls would be good. That's a good earring right there. Especially if you use something like Ezel Findings if you used a really high-end earring back. Boy, that'd be awesome. Here's that back. You ready for the next one?
Okay.
Yeah, I love those. I'm going to put some of those on my treasure necklaces. So whenever I'm making jewelry, I pretty much buy what I like for myself. And I'm hoping that other people like it. And I think they do because they buy my jewelry. So the logic follows that they should buy the components made with the jewelry. So this was listed to me as red labradorite. Now, I think I showed this in Tucson. We looked at a booth that had red labradorite. Now, it's not sunstone, and we looked at this under a microscope to see what it looked like, and it has a shine like sunstone, but it doesn't have those rainbow shimmers. It's kind of lightweight. We cracked one to see if it was hard, and generally you don't have to crack the whole stone to check the hardness, but I couldn't find, I have this little kit. I couldn't find it. I'm going to order another one where you take a known thing that has the hardness that's similar to the hardness you think the stone is, and then you scratch it. And the one that scratches, like if I were to scratch this, in theory, if this was harder, it would scratch this and not the other way around. And that would be how you would check which one was the harder stone. And the one that was harder would mean that the one that was not as hard had a lower rating. Do you see what I mean? Jermaine, it looks very similar to Andalusite, but they called it red labradorite. And I have some Andalusite, and it looks very much like this. So it's possible. It's possible. I'll have to look at it again and see. I have some that is brown. The Andalusite that I had was a color change. It was between green and brown, and I did not see that property of shifting the color, because I would say the Andalusite has a tendency to do that color shift to an olive green, and I didn't notice that happening. So they called it
How many do we have?
8.
Okay.
Yeah, Vicky, I'd never heard of it either. I mean, the first time I heard of it was in Tucson, the last time we were in Tucson, and I bought some briolets. I don't think we sold them, did we? We just sat on them. They're in my collection somewhere.
I don't remember.
So, anyway, it's really pretty. I mean, it's not it wasn't like expensive or more than regular labradorite, but it's definitely not. And the reason they were calling it that, and I was like, why do they call it that? If you look close, you can see see that? It has a shiller, just like sunstone or moonstone. There's a shimmer to it, like shampoo. See how it does that? That lighter little bit of shimmer. It's a pretty color. This light, it seems like it looks very true of that color. So anyway, I think it's pretty. And this is the part that you get for $9. It's $2.68. Okay, little daughter. So here we have a few of this is some faceted. In this light, I'm seeing that it looks a little bit washed out a tiny bit in this light. But this is Larimar, and it's faceted. Isn't that pretty? So you can see a little bit. I was trying to see if it showed that little bit of patterning. You know the patterning you see on Larimar? That looks like it's kind of jelly-like, where you get the little bit of dark and then slightly translucent and then white. It's a very creamy, dreamy stone. It doesn't have the hard sparkle because it's not a hard stone. And I believe this rough was mined in the US. I'm pretty sure. My friend she picks the stone. Like, so they pick rough, right? When I'm saying rough, I mean like rough stone. And then they send it to their cutting house or their cutters. And the cutters a lot of times are like a little cottage industry, kind of like Greengirltudios. So we make everything here in-house. I've been offered, I don't know how many different times, to have stuff made in China or something. And I've been told, hey, this can cost you pennies. And I just feel like, I don't know. I haven't done it.
Unethical business practices.
Is it? It's, as I said, it's called unethical.
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 I personally would never. If I ever take over the company, we will never have anything made in China like that.
Right. Well, as long as we're making it, we're going to make it here or in the States. So anyway, this is some really pretty Larimar that's faceted. Usually you see it where it is in rounds or in rondelle and usually smooth. You don't usually see it in facets like this. That's why we kind of jumped on it when we saw it like this, because we're like, wow, we haven't seen it with that facet, because usually it's saved for cabochons, because a lot of Larimar goes into cab making. And when you go to shows, you can see table upon table of cabs, and the beads section is like this. It's like 12 inches wide. Not that many people make beads out of it. It just makes a pretty cab. Yeah, Melanie says, I'm with Azalea. American made is best. Yeah, it is. But it does make it hard to compete. That's the thing, is people are like, well, why is this so expensive? It's like, well, you know what? We haven't raised our prices. We should raise on some things. But if you want to have American labor, sometimes it's going to cost. So anyway, this is lot 265 if you're interested. If you're watching this on replay and you're wondering, we don't have a deep stock of anything. We might have, we'll usually say it. So there's like 5 of these. And Counted them up. About 20 on per thing. Make about 10 pair of earrings on there. So, okay, that's $265. You can email me and ask me what's next.
Are you ready for that?
Yep. Let's see. We'll see if folks like some of this highfalutin.
All right, you guys, we're going into our section of
some of the stuff is our fancy, not a cheap date. Give me that ruby and zozite. Okay, so this one's not too wild, but the next two will be. So prepare yourselves. We'll see what happens. This is ruby and zozite. Zozite is the green part, right? So that's the zozite part. Ruby grows in this mineral. I know that sounds wacky, but it's true. And we'll test it. We tested it when we were there because sometimes it's
show it.
Sometimes the stuff is not, like, how do you say,
honest.
Well, I don't know if I'd say honest, but not legit. You could test it with a light. So real rubies. See, I'll show you what I know is a real ruby. See my bracelet, maybe that's, and they'll glow. I don't know if it's showing up on camera. Let me see if I'll go to the other row. That too much? See it? That's ruby. Ruby and zozite. Here we go. That's the check. Okay, so you can see that the little pieces that are in there that are ruby, they glow that color. So these rondelles, they're pretty nice. They don't have a huge hole that they're drilled because these are cut in India. I was saying, Azalea, we forgot our Healing Vibes music. That has been the thing that we've been forgetting about.
Oh.
All right, so there's 5 of these. This is $264, and this is ruby and zozite. They're really beautiful, especially the green ones in the middle. Okay. Okay, the next thing, this one, we were like, this was kind of a splurge. I don't know how folks are going to feel about this. These are rubies. They are really beautiful. I kind of lost my head a little bit. These were my big high ticket. The next 2 things were my high ticket items that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to move these, y'all. I'm scared. I'm scared. But somebody said, hey, you won't know until you try it. So we'll see if folks like them. Here's the test. That's the UV. So they passed the test. We went and took this to the show, and there was a few awkward moments.
Yeah, when they had stuff labeled as ruby, and then it did not glow. I was like, okay. Hello.
Yeah, I went wild with this. I love them, but yeah, they're not a cheap date. Not even a little bit cheap. So that's the look of it. That's $263. I know. They kind of make me weak in the knees. How pretty they are.
You did a good job stringing them like that.
Thank you. I know. That was this thing. It's like the strand they really showed them to me. They're these beautiful, gorgeous, unreal. I'm going to put them on my treasure necklaces. My fantasy, I was like, I'm going to just get the whole thing for myself. But then I felt really unreal how greedy I was feeling. But, we'll see what happens. I buy everything so that if it doesn't sell, then I have it and it'll make good jewelry,
Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm glad someone sees. They're beautiful, without a doubt. Like kind of a frosty, cold, crisp pink. I love. Like purpley pink. Right? Yeah, I did.
Do it again.
Do it again, she said.
Let me do it.
Zoe says, let me show it. Do it with, the first is like regular style. Oh, she wanted to show it like that to really get in there and show it.
So they have that glow. You can even hold them over like that, and you can see that it glows like that. I love them. I was playing with this like for hours.
Yeah, we looked up online to see why did they glow, and it's from the substance is called chromium. Because you know what, pink sapphires don't glow, and I thought it was the same thing. So so sapphires and rubies they say they're both corundum, and the thing with corundum is that they have varying levels of different other minerals that make the different colors. So the chromium is what turns this that they show as that hot pink is the levels of chromium in them.
How many do we have available?
5.
We have sold 2, and that was Jermaine's question. How many of these are available? There are 3 left.
There are 3.
Okay, you want me to move on?
Yeah, Melanie says chromium is good for the body, helps regulate sugar. That's interesting. Wouldn't that be nice? Who doesn't have some of that sugary action? Okay. Last, spread those puppies out. This is where I may have lost my mind. Not too much losing of the mind.
Millennium cut.
But this is called Millennium Cut. I'd never seen this. This is the entire strand right here. Or actually, I just bought the whole thing. And each one, this was sold to us by carat weight. And so we figured it out. And this is called, what did you just say? Millennium Cut?
Millennium Cut Rosewater Quartz.
Millennium Cut.
Those are some of the fanciest.
This is some of the fanciest thing, partly because this one, look at this one here, the big one. Where's that big one?
Should be near the end. It should be the one that's 80.
Okay, so listen to this. Look at this one.
256 is gone. So past 256.
Yeah, there are a lot. We weighed them, and that's where the price is.
Yeah, they're all different priced by the weight, the carat weight.
I was so mesmerized as I was like, listen. So that's a pretty big. This is something that is so special. I don't even know. I've never seen this cut before. And it's in perfect, of course, the specimen that they picked is like super perfect on the inside. Like there's no inclusions or anything. They're so perfect. And I don't know. I was going to pair these guys with pearls. That's my choice with that. Let me see how that's going to look. So these are some pearls I bought for an upcoming crochet kit that I'm working on. I know, aren't these juicy? This is old stock. I'm pretty excited. You know, new stock, sometimes you get it where the pearls look a little bit dead.
Looks like Cecilia wants 257. Thank you.
I know, look at that.
Thank you to Karen.
That's the most expensive one is 80.
Here, which one's 257? Let me take that one away.
257 is gone. I wondered what would happen. What's this one's 48? We'll put them in order. So the next size is this one. It was at 48. So they're all a little bit different. Like this one's a little more squat than this one. It's a little. Oh, Melanie says deep garnets with it. That would be pretty. Yeah, because I was thinking, hey, how wouldn't these look awesome with pearl?
Let's show each one, show it because it's overlapping the other lot numbers.
Oh.
A lot of the lot numbers are getting covered up.
Sorry.
Here, let me see it. So this one's like a medium-sized one. That's lot 258. Then we have a size up, 259.
This one, I have to go and manipulate this into a lot of strands. I have to go and high grade these. And organize them into a fashion where it's equal for every section. So this is zircon. I'm going to show this because this is going to be for Wednesday. I'm going to try and get that. So what I do usually, if I'm making it even, I start at the end and I make 5 piles. And I go through and match the piles with the sizes so that each person gets the same amount on a hank. And then I pull off anything that is not good. So this is, I thought even something simple. This is not the right color, I don't think. But these are zircons. They look like brown diamonds. That's why I wanted them. But look how pretty that would be. Gosh. So juicy.
Oh, look.
Or I wonder how green would look.
Look at Carrie Ross. I just got this one.
The big one?
I believe so.
The big, juicy.
Thank you.
Yes,
got
thank
those
you.
last 2.
The last 2. So here is green apatite. I think this is the one that looks, I don't know, I think pearls with that looks good. Yeah, pink and green, I know. It's like magic, I know. This is like, when I saw them, Azalea and I both, our eyes started like bugging because we were like, this is like some kind of fantasy. You know, you could make a bezel. Some folks that know how to do good bead embroidery could go around the edge, or even better if these had some kind of dangle from the bottom because they're drilled up and down. And if it were like, you know, a tassel maybe with something hotter pink or a light or darker pink down at the bottom, maybe even teal. I don't know, what do you think? Teal? I think I love this light green with it. That's that sparkly green apatite. I think it looks good. Let's see, something that's more, oh wait. Spinel. Here's the spinel. Yeah, could be a higher, bigger, I think thicker, maybe. So anyway, that's what we have for today. I was happy with that. Maybe this size. Here's some teal from my necklace. This is those tourmalines from before. Oh yeah, I think that's it. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, that's the match for that. Right in there. If there's one left, maybe I'll put one in my necklace. Right there. So luxurious. But if that was the case, you know what? I would string it so that this was removable. Like, put a long loop so that I could keep using this necklace and I wouldn't have to restring it. I'd have to just put that or take it on or off. All right. I'm going to straighten this out. Okie dokie. Hey, Zelia, do you want to do the screen? It sounded like she went upstairs again for some reason. I'm going to clear this out and get it ready. All right, you ready to show the screen?
Yeah, sure. I was just drying my stuff.
Sharon says, thanks for taking all the money. Perfect. Thank you for purchasing some of our goods today. So then we can go back and buy more beads at some point. Yeah, this one has a good, like, I don't know what the refraction.
Your screen is probably not showing so big anymore.
No.
So I'm showing this. Here we go. All right.
Nice.
Does everybody get a good enough look? Do I need to show it for longer?
Okay, I'm gonna change the camera. I'm gonna change the camera. Let me change that camera. All right, friends. Thank you for joining me and Azalea today for our live. That was a lot of fun. I hope you learned something from the wax tutorial from earlier in the show. And I hope we had a good time looking at the stones. We had a good time picking them out. I'm making jewelry all the next until we leave, so I have some wonderful. I have to finish some presents first, for Kate, and I'm bringing a bunch because I usually bring jewelry to California with me because for some reason it just sells real good. So I'm excited for that. And I will show you all the things that I'm making. And I am very excited to use some of my new stones. And it's always fun to add to the collection, expand your palette. It's almost like it's like getting a new paint color. You just want to use that. Just dab that right in there. I have my beads kind of like a palette where it's like I'm introducing one more new color to the mix. It's kind of fun to do that. So anyway, I hope y'all had a good time this evening. We had a good time. We're planning to do a Zoom little crochet fun time class. Not a class, maybe just a meet. So we're going to put a post in the group and it's going to ask for times. If you want to participate, there's no pressure to join us, but we'll put a couple times, and whatever time that we get from people, we will try to accommodate it. Obviously, it's not Wednesday and Sunday is kind of taken up with this whole thing. So just sort of an informal fun time class where we can all meet and just, maybe in the afternoon. We haven't decided yet. We were talking about like what would be the best time. Doesn't have to be crochet, it could be whatever. It'll just be like, like old school sewing circle or knitting circle. So that's what we're doing, a digital one of that. We're trying to plan the time. So look out for that in the Greengirltudios on our group page. And Clem says, I really need some crochet support. Let's do it. Coming up. Maybe sometime this week or next. And keep it in your mind of when is a good time for each. We'll look at that and see. If you guys are on the West Coast, we'll have to think about that West Coast, East Coast. We'll try to find something in the middle that works for everybody. Sharon says, what size hook? The hook size is not important. Not important because it's your thread and your bead size. That's more important because you could pretty much do this with, you can 2 millimeter. I don't know what size your thread is, but if you're using a thread that we have that's coming in, or it just arrived yesterday, that is micro cord, and I usually use a where's my hook? 1.5, 1.25, any of those in that range will work. So let's do that. Let's get in there and do that sometime in the next week or so before it gets too crazy, because before I leave for Fresno, it's going to be a little on the how do you say, super busy. So let's just go like this week would be great. All right, friends, it is amazing as always to see all my friends out there. Thanks for supporting us and buying from our little shop. We really appreciate it. It keeps Marty in food, and then it keeps us in beads, right? So thank you so much. We appreciate all y'all out there, and we love each and every one of you. So we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you on Wednesday. We'll see you, friends. Bye-bye.